Hello everybody and welcome to FAQ time. Well, I say FAQ, there's not many questions that you guys are asking that I'm having to answer numerous times, but there is a couple, and they had to do with Medieval 2 and A, how do I set one turn to be 6 months or one turn to be 1 year rather than one turn is 2 years, and secondly, how do I get number of years underneath the egg timer rather than number of turns. So I've had to answer that question I think 4 or 5 times, which isn't a great deal, you know, it's not a massive amount of times, but you know, something that I have to keep repeating myself over and over again and asking people, oh please see video number 52, I've answered it there. It sounds a little bit snotty and stuff, so I will show you how to do it yourself, and then you can also change it to whatever else you want to do and make it even more edits as well, because we change it via the config file, which if I've got Windows 7, so this is I think I've got 32-bit version as well. It might be in a different location if you've got 64-bit version, but never mind. We go to the program files, we find Medieval 2, which is under Sega, Medieval 2 Total War. Oh, this is my works thing. My works BlackBerry. I'm at home and I have my works BlackBerry switched on, so I'm getting emails all the damn time. That's how sad my life has become. Anyway, config. Sorry. So yeah, you go into the Medieval 2 Total War folder. You go to Data. You go to World. You go to Maps. You go to Campaign. You go to Imperial Campaign. After you've gotten into all those 50,000 folders and thinking, where the hell's it taking me, we get to something that looks a little bit like this. And the little config file you want is called Deskrostrat, and that is where you can make the changes to your game. Now, first of all, this is the first change that you can make, which you might want to do. As you start the game off, for the first time, you can only play as England, France, Germany, Holy Roman Empire, Spain or Venice. You can play as these factions, but you have to unlock them by either beating the Imperial campaign or by eliminating them from the campaign map. However, if you want to play as them all from the start of the game, all you have to do is highlight them here, copy them, paste them underneath here, like so. Oops. And then delete them from there, and there you go. So campaign playable, these will all be playable, unlockable, none. So you then, when you start the game up, you will have all of these factions from the very start. You don't have to finish the campaign to do it. You can start off as these factions. So that's the first thing that is quite useful to edit using this Deskrostrat data file. Unlockable factions. You can also, I think, I'm not 100% sure on this, so some people might be able to post on the comments page of this FAQ to confirm if it's right or not, but if you copy the non-playable factions into playable, you can also play as these factions as well. I think you could do it in Rome. I don't know if it works on this, so as I say, if somebody can confirm that or deny that, let me know in the comments page. If you copy them up into playable, you might be able to play as these as well. So that's that. So the next question, the first question was, how do I set one turn to be 1 year or one turn to be 6 months? We've got a little thing here called time scale. Now the original time scale when you first start the game will be like that, it will be on 2. So when you play the game, you press end turn, the game forwards itself 2 years. One turn is 2 years. If you change that from 2.00 to 1.00, when you press end turn, it will go forward 1 year instead of 2 years. on my campaign, I've got it even slower pace than that. I've got it like Rome Total War. I've got it as 1 turn is 6 months, and to do that, you change it to 0.50. 1 turn is half a year or 6 months. So you can set that up as whatever you want. I think my 1 turn is half a year is a little too slow. As I said on one of my previous videos, I'm going to probably finish the campaign before a lot of the exciting stuff happens. The invasion of the Mongols, the plague, the discovery of the new world, gunpowder, all those things come later in the game. And because my game is so slow paced, I may finish it before all those things happen, which isn't good if you want to look forward to those things. So I would recommend, personally, changing it to 1 turn is 1 year, and that would be just about right. You'd get about 480 turns to finish the game, which I think is a decent pace if you don't want to blast through the game. You want to take your time and build up your empire steadily. 1 turn as 1 year is just about right. But because I've started the game on 1 turn is 6 months, I can't change it now halfway through the campaign. So that's why I'm having to stick with it. Another thing, initially the game config file will look like that. No, it looks like that. And when you start the campaign map, under the egg timer where you end the turn, rather than the date showing, it shows the turn number. If you want to show that as the date rather than the turn number, all you do is go to the start of this line, show date as turns, and put 2 semicolons. And that changes the number of turns under the egg timer to the date. And that pretty much is that really. As I say, the main things: copying up the unlockable factions into playable, so you can start off as all these factions from the start, changing the time scale to adjust the number of just the time length of 1 turn, whether it's 2 years, 1 year, half a year, or even more, 4 years or a quarter of a year. 2 semicolons in front of the show date as turns to turn the number of turns into the year underneath the end turn button, and then you've got a whole heap of other things. Now, start of faction section. So this is England here. Denarii, you get 10,000 to start with. King's Purse 2,500. So you could change your starting cash. If I want to start a new campaign with England and I want them to start with 20,000 florins to start with, I can change that to 20,000. At the end of each turn, you get a King's Purse bonus every turn. So you get your trade income, you get your farming income, you get your whatever else, bribery income, and you get the King's Purse income. So if at the end of each turn, if you want to give yourself a little bit of an extra boost, if you're finding financial situation a little bit difficult, you can maybe switch the King's Purse to 4,000, so that at the end of each turn the King's Purse will be 4,000 rather than 2,500, so you get a bit of a cash injection that way. So you can change your starting cash and the King's Purse. And that's the same for all the other factions as well. France, you can start with you can do the same thing again. And that's about as much as I know about this little editing file. I haven't touched anything else, so I don't know about changing resources and things like that. I've only used it for these things that I've outlined in this video. So hopefully, if you've asked the question as how do I do any of that stuff, this video will be useful. This video might be useful if you've never come across this before, but if you've been playing the game as long as I have, you probably have. Now to save it, the final thing is to save it. Now if you click on the cross and click on save, and I'm not going to do it because I've edited it and I don't want to do it like this, but when you click on save initially, the file will be a readme file only, and when you click on save it says cannot save because the file is readme only. So to change that, all you do is you highlight it, right click, go to properties and declick on read only. It will be clicked like that when you first start off. Just take it off, and then when you try to save it, it will then save. If you try to save it when it's ticked like that, it won't let you because it's a read only file, which means you can't edit it. So somebody had that problem as well. They said they had that problem, so that's how to solve that problem. Take off read only under the general stat of the properties of the file, and that gets rid of that problem for you. So I can't think of anything else. So yeah, that is the main questions that I've been asked with regard to Medieval 2. Hope this has been a little bit useful for you if you want to sort of doctor your own campaign a little bit. Stay tuned for further videos. I'll see you soon.